And there we go. We see the clock. Hey, folks, how you doing? All screw that up. Hey, folks, how you doing out there? Darren here. Another drink and a wink. I'm full of. I'm tired. Been a very long couple of days here, but and I'm either having some allergies or something. But I wanted to come at you here. We kind of missed a few days since we've been running this Permashelf idea, the PERMASCORZ idea, and I'm going to bring you one of our favorites. This is one of the Permashelfs and if you don't know what that is, that means it's a phrase that I've stolen from others and then turned it into PERMASCORZ, but I might lose that before this whole series is done, is talking about something that is always on our shelf. We love it so much that when we run out, I run out and get another one. We got it down to 10, although it's very hard to get just 10 in there. And we've bought you 3 so far, and we're going to kind of continue here with the second, with number 4, of a blended Scotch. Okay, so what's interesting before we get into this is just kind of, I'm going to reflect a little bit on the Permashelf concept for every video, and I hope you enjoy that part of it. Permashelf, it's interesting. I'm foremost a single malt Scotch whiskey fan. And we do have 2 or 3. I just brought you one Craig Allopy 13 single malt Scotch whiskeys that are going to be on my shelf all the time. But as we purchased, maybe early in our journey, we purchased single malt Scotch whiskeys that were either very standard core range, the Glenmorangie original, which maybe 3 or 4 years ago would have been on my Permashelf. The Glenfiddich 12, even Woonahaven 12, although that is a Permashelf for me. Lefroy 10, Ardbeg 10, these ones. Those were very cool. I bought them, and some of them will be a Permashelf. Others I'll let slide, and maybe let them go. Sometimes they're not quite as interesting to me. So when I'm buying single malt Scotch whiskey right now, unless it's a really knockout, it's kind of like I'm trying to check out, maybe if in the wine area, I'm trying to check out a certain vintage, and I'm going to buy a bottle of it, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to let that one go and say, you know what, that's served its purpose. I got it. Might have something a little more interesting about it. Make a finish, something of that nature. Not rare, because I really can't really get into that, but just for financial reasons. But that's the idea in terms of single malt Scotch whiskey. So my Permashelf really is more of a thing of, this one serves its purpose. Doesn't mean it's a bargain. Okay, we only have one that I might consider a bargain price, but they're good standards that we have bought multiple bottles of. Michelle and I both enjoy, for the most part. Okay, I'm doing really good with that one here. I don't think anything that I've mentioned, with the exception of maybe a bourbon that's coming up, Michelle is on board with all of these, being Permashelfs. And the other thing is, just like I said, I know the taste of it. I enjoy it. I know it's of some good quality, or enough quality for the price, that kind of thing. When it comes to blended scotches, we have 3 on our list. I've already talked about one. That is the Dewar's 12. Okay, and that one is more just kind of, it's the one that I like to have around when I need a scotch, a blended scotch. The 2 others that we're going to talk about are a little more interesting, and I'll give that one away. The other one would be McLean's Nose from Ardnamurchan. That'll come later. But hands down, if I need to find a blended malt Scotch whiskey that both Michelle and I love, and is in the right price point for what they're giving to you, and created with total care and looking out to make up the best product at the price, it would be Orchard House from Compass Box. Now, we have talked about Compass Box before. If you don't remember what Compass Box is, they're kind of they're an interesting. They don't call themselves, well, they're not a distillery because they don't distill their own product. They are more of a, maybe even a curator, more than a blending house. I guess in the old days it would be a blending house. But that kind of can get confused with just all your standard blended scotches that come out from the big companies like Dewar's and Johnny Walker and all that, where they purchase different kinds of grains and different products from other distilleries, and they put together and they make whiskey. That's what they're doing, but they're doing it at the kind of, for lack of a better term, boutique level, okay? And they're also taking the utmost of care and conscientiousness in making this blend. The other thing that, why I say it's boutique and a little more interesting, is for Compass Box, who actually is, their main headquarters is actually, I think, I don't know if it's in London, but it's not in Scotland, it's in England. They give you every bit of information and minutia that you could desire with their products. So unlike a bigger company who's going to put something together and they kind of tell you that it's made from 40 different blended malt, or a malt, single malt Scotch whiskeys and grain whiskey and blah, 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 but you never really know until you hear it through the grapevine. Okay, here's the grapevine. The grapevine is right here. Orchard House, or Compass Box, the company, gives you the grapevine. All right? They tell you everything, and I'll get into that a little bit later. They're a real fascinating company. And they've made some different price levels, everything from, I think the cheapest I've seen is maybe, it's changed some different names, but in the $35 range, Artist Blend, Glasgow, yeah, there's prices for everyone if you're interested in Scotch. Okay, I actually have 3 Compass Box picks here right now. We actually have 3 Compass Box. That's the most we've ever had. We had another one, and I think it was called the Artist Blend or something like that, but we downed that. It's very average, good tasting, but yeah, it's not a Permashelf. Nectarosity is their newest one, and this one is a really kind of it tasted me like ex-bourbon cask forward. It's a very sweet one. It's not my favorite in terms of just overall. We'll keep it around. I don't think I'll buy another one, but it's a nice kind of dessert after, dessert whiskey. Very tasty. Another one of their most popular ones is the Peat Monster. I brought this to you, okay? This is a nice blended malt Scotch whiskey. That is really it's not as monstrous in the peat area, but this is a wonderful choice if you're looking around and the single malt Scotch whiskey prices are bothering you. This is a blend of single malt Scotch whiskeys. So that's, again, just to get our terminology together. I can't remember this one. This is a blended Scotch. So this one is a blended Scotch. This is a malt blend. The difference is that this one is going to contain some grain, some other type of grain, in addition to them purchasing single malt Scotch whiskeys and making a blend. And you can taste this one. There's got to be some corn in here, absolutely for sure. These two are malt blends, meaning that they are just purchasing casks of various single malt Scotch whiskeys and putting it in the barrel. There is no other grain in these, okay? Now let me focus it in. Peat Monster is great. I don't know if it was a Permashelf, but it's a nice peated blended Scotch whiskey. Peated whiskeys that taste good are a little hard. It's a little hard to get them in the lower price ranges. I'm going to say now that in the last year, as of my birthday, so the last 7 months, I have learned about Chorveg, which is actually an exception to that rule. But we'll keep on talking about this. So, what are they doing here? The first thing we need to know is that the Orchard House is designed as, and I'm reading this, like I said, you can look at this right now on the website. I'll probably even put the link up. All malt and quite the all-rounder. Orchard House features some of Scotland's fruitiest whiskies, a lively and fragrant sipper with a light oak influence, perfect for the home bar. Right on the money. Aromas of apple and pear dominate. You can read this, a little bit of Earl Grey tea. They make all these notes, and again, you can tell that they know what they're doing because That is exact. Their tasting notes are specific, and they're here. They're all here. Really nice. We've used this neat. I'm going to drink it neat tonight. It chilling it, you can get, it is wonderful on the rocks, and we've used this for highballs and boilermakers and all that. It's perfect for just about everything. Better news, bottled at 46%. Okay, so that's going to be 6% higher than a lot of the offerings that we're going to find in the bigger name bigger name blended scotches. Natural color, non-chill filtered, all great. Okay, so now if that wasn't enough information, I'm going to take a taste. So, maybe a little tasting on the nose. A little, there's just so much complexity out of this bottle. This is a $50 bottle. Sometimes you can get a little cheaper. I got it cheaper today. A little bit of vanilla, chocolate, lemon, chocolate and lemon. A little bit of a red grape scent. On the nose, I don't get any smokiness. I'm going to be emotional over whiskey. No, I'm not. This was slated actually to be discontinued. That could have been maybe a little bit of because they were out of stock of a certain single malt Scotch whiskey they were blending in here. Could have been a little marketing game. I think they had the idea that Nectarosties was going to take over this place in the Orchard House. It was going to replace Orchard House in the taste profile. I was seeing it could be scarce on shelves. I was talking to Michelle like maybe we should buy one because this might be it. It was actually off the website completely at Compass Box, and I'll put some links down. And then all of a sudden, I didn't even really hear it from anywhere. All of a sudden, I was in the store, and I saw there was like 8 of them on the shelf with this slightly different label. Now there's more green in the label. And I went back on the website. It's back. They're not going to discontinue it, okay, for the foreseeable future. You can find this at, I think I looked it up today. I think every Benny's around has many, many bottles of this. On the second nose, I'm getting a little bit more of the oak note, a little hint of leather, and a little bit of earthiness. There's a hint of grilled fruit here that I didn't get, and a little hint of smoke. Just a little bit. On the finish, crisp. Get a little more of the oak vanilla and oak vanillin note. It's long. It's heavy enough. It's still there. Then it kind of gets lemony at the end. On this, they got apples and peaches and pears and a spider. That's kind of funny. And some berries, and that's all here. Again, not flavor added, just the blend they've made. Let me tell you about the blend. So on the back, this is very rare that you're going to get this from a blending house. They tell you down to percentages every one of the single malt Scotch whiskeys that are in here. It is 2% Kalila, okay, from a first fill. Now that's going to give us a little bit of our first fill bourbon barrel. That's going to give us that little hint of smoke that we had. The Highland Malt blend, you don't know what that's going to be. That could be many different whiskeys, but it's done in a French oak barrel. That could give us some hints. That's only 2%. The whopping biggest one here is the Klein Leash Distillery. Okay, Klein Leash has kind of apple and waxy profile. Klein Leash 14, which is something we featured here, is wonderful. So they're buying whiskey from the Klein Leash Distillery. 41%. Second one is the Linkwood Distillery. That I'm not that familiar with. They do a lot of, you're going to find that in a lot of blends. That is also a first fill bourbon. Glenmorangie, 10%. I've had plenty of that. This has its first fill bourbon barrel. It tells you even the kind of the flavor notes here. And then finally, this is what's interesting. Distillery near the town of Aberlour. Okay, so for contractual regions, there is some distillery that they're purchasing casks from. This is 10% in here. We don't know what that is. It is revatted or also sherry seasoned butt that this is being aged in, and this is giving us what they say red notes, red apple sultanas, which is kind of like a raisiny thing, and malty taste. Near Aberlour, that could be Aberlour, but they don't. Aberlour is kind of known for having kind of a floral taste. It's the most popular whiskey in France. I know Jeff Hedberg. I just got a message while I'm in the video. I don't know if Krista is watching, but the. Where was I? Oh yeah, Aberlour. Aberlour has a very, I don't know, would it be the Aberlour, or would it not make sense for them to say distillery near the town of Aberlour, and then, actually it was from Aberlour. Other ones there, and I'm guessing from the taste profile that described it, it could be the Cardew Distillery, 10% of that in here. Finally, it could be Ballindock. Could be something else that I'm not aware of, but that's it. That doesn't mean anything to you. I just know that the Cardew taste profile has some of those mentions of what we just mentioned. Cool. All right. That's what's in here. And all those flavors are coming together to absolutely make one of the best blended malt Scotch whiskeys that I can find. Can you find a blended Scotch, a blended malt in the Dewar's profile? I don't think you can right now. I think it's all blended. If I'm wrong, please someone correct me. But I think it's all blended Scotch, meaning there's other grains in here. Can you find one in the Johnny Walker lineup? Only one that I'm aware of. It's the Green Label. And if you've had Green Label a long time ago and you've had Green Label recently, you'll realize that the quality of that, the taste of that has gone down. $50 for this whiskey. I'm going to say it. If you are into the fruitier side of whiskey and you are a wine fan that wants to make the jump over here, this is the perfect choice. I can say without a doubt that in terms of blended Scotch or blended malts, this is Michelle's favorite on the market right now. I forget about it a little bit, so sometimes it lacks a little bit of the oak punch that I like out of something in this kind of taste profile. And then I drink this and I'm like, what am I talking about? This is great. So people that like big smoky whiskeys, this is not for you. If you have kind of a nice, tasty wine not influence, but I would say it would be perfect for you. This is just a wonderful combination of oak notes, a little bit of vanilla taste, but not overly vanilla. Tangy on the tongue. The oak does not overpower. In the middle, it gets like a little chocolatey, a little bit of fig and raisin, and then on the end, it kind of fades off. I can't say enough of it. You can drink it right out of the glass neat, put a cube in there, that'll kind of get it a little bit more juicy, and if you put it in a drink like a highball, it's perfect. That's it. There's the label. Compass Box Orchard House, $50. Again, all natural, no colorant added to that. We don't have an age statement on it. It was at one time rumored to be about 5 to 6 years old, and I can't really find a better one at this price range. Check it out. Again, Compass Box. I would say if you're more into the peaty smoky flavor, then my next blended Scotch, which is not a malt blend, is going to be more for you. But if you were going to, I'm going to give it away. If you're going to buy two blended Scotches, and you don't want to buy it from the big names, and you actually want something that you're going to remember, Compass Box Orchard House, McLean's Nose from Ardnamurchan, you would be perfect. Great. If you want to look more into the Compass Box lineup, there's also another one that's really, really getting a lot of talk. It's called Hedonism. Check that one out. Compass Box, really fascinating company, a little boutiquey. If you're into that kind of wine presentation in terms of, you know, the marketing, not marketing, but the notes, and you go onto their webpage, I'm going to put the link down here. You'll really dig this. You can tell them that I'm very happy and excited. I am going to get emotional. I thought this was going to go away, and I wasn't going to be able to rely on this anymore. Yeah, okay. I would say this is probably our fourth bottle of this. I know we've also given it away a couple of times to some friends. We never have any complaints. Yeah, Compass Box Orchard House. I need it more than want it, and I want it for all time. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's been a long day. And now I'm quoting Jimmy Webb songs, and I'm talking instead of my. I can say the same thing about my wife. But instead of talking about that, I'll talk about a bottle of whiskey. All right, folks. Next one coming up. I don't know if I'm going to do that Ardnam, or I'm going to do that McLean's Nose next, or I might throw something else, American whiskey, in between in our Permashelf series. But this is Permashelf number 4, Orchard House. It's perfect time for this. Okay, well, except for today here in Chicago, where it was back to 50 degrees. The absolute perfect time to get this. It sounds like I'm trying to sell this. I have no dog in that fight. I just really love this whiskey. And you're going to love this company. They do everything right. All right. Go Malt Blends. And I need you more than one Scotch. And I love Scotch for